All right. So I've had a couple people ask what I'm actually doing when I'm applying these fat crits from Marksman Sniper. What I'm basically doing is I'm stacking buffs, right? So the way to increase your damage in Tor is to have different buffs on, etc. So right now, your standard ambush does between 27,000 damage and 28,000 damage. So we'll call it roughly 28,000 just for the ease of math, right? So the different ways to increase your damage is obviously through crit. As you can see here, I crit on this target, and through different buffs that you can apply over time. So Marksman has a whole bunch of these different buffs that when stacked together lead to something pretty obscene. The first is just your standard crit multiplier. What I like to do is you get your power to 10k, and then I actually need to fix my alacrity here. Basically throw all of your augments at critical. Your critical multiplier will go up dramatically, so you get about an extra 70% damage on top of your standard damage, which is pretty nice on its own. But we're going to push this even further. There is a secondary buff called the B0 targeting system, which makes your roll activate ambush instantly and makes your ambush do 30% more damage. Very tasty. That is the next buff that we're going to be abusing. The next buff we're going to be abusing is the Entrenched Established Foothold. So Established Foothold is the set bonus that we're using. What it does is that as you're entrenched, you build stacks of entrenched offense, increase your damage by 3% per stack while you're in entrenched, and stacks up to 5 times. Now the stacks build relatively quickly. I'll show you here. These are the stacks you're looking for: 2, 3, 4, 5. It didn't stack up there. That's weird. They build about 1 every second, so the process is actually very quick when it comes to actual go time. I'll show you here again. Entrench is activated. These are stacks you're looking for: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's an extra 15% damage. The next boost that we're going to get comes from actually a passive utility. You can see here that when we apply Corrosive Dart to the target is marked. And it says that it increases damage from ranged attacks. What that's coming from is from a sniper passive called Imperial Targeting, which means that when you apply Corrosive Dart to a target, it marks it for 45 seconds, which means that all marked targets take 5% more damage from ranged weapon attacks. So there's an extra 5% on our damage. And the last boost actually comes from Warzone Boost. A lot of people don't actually abuse these. Warzone Boosts are little red power-ups that you can find scattered throughout war zones. They look a lot like the med packs, which are very commonly used. I can actually show you where they're all on the different maps. So in Voidstar, there's a red power-up in the middle beneath a broken bridge, and then on top a little scaffolding in Section 2. And then there's an extra one down here in Section 3 if you ever get there. In Yavin, there's boosts up on the second level of Yavin. So if you go up the stairs in the middle, there's a boost up here and a boost down here. That's why you see people hanging up there a lot. Civil War has the same thing, where if you go upstairs in the center of the ring here, there's a boost on the different sides. There's also boosts along the outside rings near the outside pylons. Navarre Coast has a little tricky ones to get to. They are in the center of the map. So what you can do is, with your BO targeting system, how it works is if you roll or if you use your, I forget what it's called now, your hololocate, it'll activate. So if you put down your hololocate up by the actual pylon, you can grab the boost and then teleport over. Oh, I did not need to close that one out. Whoops. Odessan has them all over the frickin' place. They have them in basically every single node. So there's one in the Cantina. The defense cannon is kind of awkward to get to. Hangar, they have one. Tech Lab, they have one. The Artifact Chamber, they have one. Cantina, they have one. They're basically on the opposite side of the med pack. I feel like everyone knows where the med packs are. The Adrenos are on the opposite side of where those med packs are. Hypergate has them kind of awkwardly located. If you remember Hypergate, there's the center of the map here. On the outside, there's the little rise that leads to a ledge. It's hiding behind the middle of this ledge on this upper layer. Now, what happens a lot in Hypergate is that people will run back from the pylon and they'll grab it on their way into the chamber. So if you're going to grab these on Hypergate, grab them beforehand. Don't wait till the actual pylon goes off, because somebody's going to grab it on the way in. And finally, Hutball, there's a boost up here in the top and down here at the bottom, basically on the sides in the middle of the map. Now, how these boosts work is a little unclear. I'm not quite sure how Tor is calculating the math, but it's not a straightforward. It's not going ahead and saying, okay, so marked target applies a 5% damage increase. Your standard ambush is 28,000. 5% of that is 1,400. It doesn't just add the two together and then add your critical 70% of that. It doesn't add them separately. It appears to combine the different buffs over time. So I've pulled up a little spreadsheet here. So you can see if it just straight added all the different effects, you can see here these are all their percentages based on this top and added together. It should be like 66,000. That doesn't appear to be the case of what's happening. What appears to be happening is that it'll calculate crit and then it'll add your 30% on top of that. So instead of it being a 8,000% boost, it's a 14,000%, or not 8,000%, 8,000 damage boost. It appears to be a 14,000 damage boost, and it adds it together, and then it gives you your established foothold bonus on top of that. So it's a 9,000 damage increase, and then marked target is a 3,000 damage increase, and then your Warzone Boost is a 11,000 damage increase. So you get a ridiculous number like 86,000 damage. So those are all the buffs we're going to be looking at. We also want to have increased armor penetration. Basically, the more armor a target has, the less damage it takes. So we're going to be, for one, looking for squishier targets. So you're looking for your sages, you're looking for your scoundrels, etc. And then you want to increase your armor penetration on top of that. So we're going to use our target acquire to get that extra armor pen. And then marksman has a lot of different passive boosts as well that increase your armor penetration. And so the higher armor pen you have on lower armored targets, the more damage they take from your weapon attacks. So let's show off how this all works. We're going to apply our shattered armor here. A lot of the times in war zones, targets will have multiple debuffs on them from different targets. So if you want to have all your buddies running with you and applying their debuffs as well, that's a great way to do it. So now let's see it in action. So a couple things have to happen really quickly here. So for one, you're going to grab your damage boost from your war zone first. That has to happen first, otherwise the whole thing falls apart. You can do this without the damage boost, and you're still likely to get a relatively high amount of damage out of it, but it's not going to be that really nutty, 90k damage that you're looking for. So what is going to happen first is what I like to do is I like to mark the target and then run and pick up the Warzone boost and then come back. Now what needs to happen very quickly here is we need to pop Entrench, and then we're going to roll. And now you can see here we're going to be building these 5 stacks, 4, 5, and when you have it, lace target and armor pen. And that'll get you about 80k without the Warzone boost. So with the Warzone boost, you're looking at like a 90k crit. So very quickly it goes, get your Entrench rolling. You can wait to Entrench afterwards, but what happens with Entrench is that if you pop it beforehand and then roll, it'll start triggering automatically. It's one less thing you have to worry about in that very quick period of time. And I'll just demonstrate that here again. So if you pop Entrench beforehand and then you roll, it'll immediately start building your stacks as opposed to rolling and then setting it down and then trying to trigger Entrench that way. Now what you're going to be wanting to be doing while you're waiting for these 5 stacks to build is you want to be spending your snipes and your follow-throughs trying to get your relics to proc, right? You can see here with my relics props, my 28,000 damage boosted up to 35,000 damage. Now that trickles down through the entire spreadsheet here. So if I change this to 35,000, you're looking at, with all the buffs in an ideal world, 107,000 crit. Now again, that's an ideal world, not the real world. And what it also does by fishing for those relic procs, it also takes off force shields, etc. So we'll go through one more time and I'll show you what's up. Alright, so one more time here. We're applying our damage reduction. We're going to be marking the target for that 5% damage increase. Mark the target. Apply Entrench. Roll. Fish for power and mastery increases. Wait for your 5 stacks and then spend it. Boom. That is the rotation. I'll try to get into a game here and show you how it works in the real game. You're going to take chunks out of people. Now this is not ideal. You're not going to do max damage for this. Like this isn't the way to top damage in every war zone. It's not really optimal, but it is fun and it's a meme. So let's go and jump into it. All right. Unfortunately, we got a Navarre Ghost. It's a little trickier to do on Navarre, but we're going to try and make it happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down my phase walk up here by the bunker and then dart down and pick up the Warzone Boost. Assuming one of these guys is picking up themselves. If not, we'll go without the Warzone Boost and see when we can get it back. Looks like these guys, this guy going to pick it up? It looks like he is. Ain't that a shame. Okay, that's fine. We'll come to mid here and do it without. Here's our target. He's a Sork, so he has a less armor. We're going to roll. Putting up our entrench stacks. 2, 3, 4, 5. He has a bubble on, or is it guard? Even with guard, we get 44,000 damage to him. So that's what you can kind of expect out of this. It does redonk-a-donk damage. Show it one more time with the roll. Thunk, 64k. Very satisfying, but again, it's not the numbers that we're looking for. We're looking for much higher than that by applying all of our buffs at once. So what we'll do is we'll keep an eye out on down south, or I believe that's south. It might be north. It's north. And we'll see when that buff respawns, and then we'll try to take advantage of them. Fortunately, there's a bunch of kind of squishy targets here, so we can really take advantage of these buffs. So like right here, okay, this guy is guarded. But even then, what we're going to do is knock him out of guard. Boop, so he's out of guard range, and then we'll dunk on him for 38 damage. That's without a crit even. It appears I'm in a bit of trouble here. Sorry. Okay. This is without the 15% extra damage and 85k crit. Yes, please. And that's without the entrench damage. So if you can get bubble or buffs rolling, I'm going to die here. That's okay. So if you can get all those buffs rolling at once, as you can tell, it gets kind of redonk-a-donk. So hopefully this means that the buff has respawned back down here. So we're going to go back up again, put our phase walk down back this way, and then worry about it later. Is it back up? That is the question. It kind of despawns in and out. Does not appear to be back up yet, so we'll get back to it later. For right now, mark up all these targets. Here's this Sork with no health bar anymore. Well, that's awkward. Trying to find a good target to demonstrate this on. Not you, not you. It's kind of this Sork is the main target, honestly. Does not appear to be back up yet. We'll stop him from going and seeing his friends. Maybe he won't. These are all tanks up here, so you're not really going to get the highest damage out of it. They should probably just be capping instead of trying to deal with this BS. Actually, you know what? We're going to go help out our buddy here. It does take a hot second for these things to respawn. I believe there's another one behind on this back pillar. Let's see if we can pick it up and go meet somebody. We'll use the speed boost to get over there quicker. Okay, so here's our target. So there's our 15% bonus from overcharge power. Okay, 1 stack, 2 stack, 3 stack, 4 stack, 5 stack, dunk. Oh! Oh, 116k. Good night, sweet prince. Adios, amigo. And that's how you delete half of someone's health bar in a single GCD by stacking all of the buffs at once. Oh, we'll keep playing this out and fishing for those crits because again, it's filthy and I feel dirty for doing it. And that's just the way we roll. We're gonna come over here to the other side and see if we can do a little something fancy. I'm not sure we're gonna get there, but I mean, south is just a bunch of tanks shooting at each other, so it's not exactly as fun. Let's see if we can find somebody to play around with. It looks like it's gonna be a stealther here. If he saps us, that's fine. That's just our... Yep, okay. Here he is. Just keep capping. He's just adding to our resolve bar. And it's not an operative too. And operatives have that really obnoxious. He's right here. There he is. Okay. So you can see here he has Force Shroud on. So we're not going to bother applying our stuff yet. We're going to break this. There he is. Got him. apply the dunk. Shadows have the obnoxious ability to kind of despawn all your dots, which is annoying, but not the end of the world. Unfortunately, it cost our Sentinel his life, but you know, sometimes that's just the way it is. He died for the cause of us farming good numbers, and I think that's a noble cause to die for. At least for him to die for, not for me to die for. That sounds very much like his problem. We're gonna go over here and we're gonna abandon east, because we're going to go back west and see if we can do this all over again. Gonna leave west, or east, on my way west. Alright, I'm hoping that these guys are back, so we're going to pick up the speed boost here so we can get there faster. We're going to pick up the damage boost. It appears that there's a shadow up here. Okay, this guy, that is the system. No, it's gonna be this guy. Wait for all this stuff to fall off. 76k. Good night, sweet prince. Now that guy is back here and healing himself. So we're just gonna flash him up. He's right here. Got him. CC. Delete him. Now I imagine the guys that we just killed are going to be heading back to theirs. So we're going to run back this way. I imagine there's going to be either a shadow over here or a scoundrel. Probably not going to get there in time. That's okay. That's just more damage for us. Maybe we'll get there. Who knows? Surprise, fool. It's me. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Come to delete all of your health bar. See, he thought that he stunned me there, because he didn't know I had entrench up. He again tried to stun me, but he didn't know that I had entrench up. Now there's two of them. This is getting out of hand. Probably should have rolled there, but it doesn't matter until we have his health bar. Now there are three of them, which is concern intensifies. We're going to roll out of this. It's going to... Okay. We're going to flash up this shadow. Alright, we're going to roll out of this and pick up this health bar. Later, fellas. If they want to come home, have fun, they can. Kind of a shame that we don't have that anymore. But fortunately, this guy wants to come over here and party. So let's see if we can't have some fun. Stay right there, bud. He doesn't want to stay and have fun. It doesn't look like we're gonna get it with the extra damage boost. We only got 78k on him. Root is back up. Root him up. Knock him down. He will be missed. Oh, he's gonna bubble. All right, we're gonna sit here and wait for this to be done. He thinks he can hide. Ooh. Root him up, and now delete him. Be nice, big prince. You will be missed. There is... Alright, we're gonna put the plan into action here. We don't have everything up, but we do have... We'll have our auto crit in a few seconds here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait. They appear to all be hunting down here. So we're going to wait for this auto crit to be back up. Actually, this shadow appears to need help. So we're going to go help him instead. I'm not sure if we're going to get there in time. But we'll try. We sure will try. We're going to go for probably this guy first. No, this guy first. We're not going to have the damage buff in time. Unfortunately, the speed boost is down. But we'll still hit him for 93k. Again, this is just damage buff stacking and waiting for your 5 stacks to be up, and then abusing auto crit. And that appears to be the game. There's no more time left on the clock. There it is. We'll see the hopefully the 116k came through. and then we'll have a pretty screenshot to take and call it a day. That'll be a thumbnail. I hope you guys have fun on your marksman snipers, stacking all your buffs and doing something ridiculous. Oh, there it is. There's the nuts, my friend. So you guys have a good day. Tell me how it goes. If you have a high number, let me know. I want to see your screenshots. So, all right. Adios, amigos.